Hey y'all, I've got another Inktober drawing video here for you. The prompt for this one was dreams, and I decided to draw Minerva walking among the stars. Right there I was just picking out some markers, a bunch of purples and blues in various shades, which are some of my favorite colors. I start by sketching out where I want the light, bright, glowy part of the nebula to be. Right there I'm using BV000, also known as iridescent mauve, which is one of my favorite markers. I start filling in the rest of the page with a medium purpley color. This is V17 or amethyst. It was a little streaky, so I try to refill it, but I'm rushing because I'm filming, and of course I spill it. The chisel tip works better for me here because the technique that I'm using for refilling my marker is by just dripping slowly. Slow down when you're doing this technique. Dripping the ink slowly into the chisel tip. And at some point I realized that it works better. Let's see when I get to that point. Ah, there it is. See, that's a nice juicy chisel tip there. I'm working my way from light to dark, and the next color here that I'm using is BV08 or blue violet. I'm not coloring it all the way to the light area. I'm just gradually darkening the deep spacey parts. Next is B99 or agate, which is a great dark blue, and I'm going back in with the lighter purples to blend the colors together. I'm not super concerned with it getting it too smooth, but I don't want it too streaky. And here I am blending the darker colors into the lighter colors just a little bit, and I'm using, this one is BV00, which is a mauve shadow. And I go in with a darker blue. This one is prune, I think. I cannot remember what the number is. And for the pinky purpley part here, it's V15 or mallow, just to add a little bit of variation to that streaky light area. That darker purple is amethyst again, I believe, and I'm just bringing the colors gradually into the lighter area here to create that thin streak that is in those pretty nebula pictures that you see. And I decided at some point that that X is just not working for me. I want this to be more of a gateway that Minerva's gonna walk through, and so I color it in. I'm just blending it a little bit more here. And, ooh, there it is, the black marker. The black marker is the last dark color that I use on here, because I reserve it for the deep space part of the nebula, and then I blend it out a little bit with all of those colors I used previously, gradually bringing it in again towards the light area, trying to keep a nice light streak there. That agate color is one of my new favorite colors too. Oh, and here's the actual technique I'm using. It might have seemed like I laid down a lot of ink, but the reason why is because I'm dropping colorless blender ink here from my refilled bottle. And the colorless blender causes the ink to spread out and create that really interesting cloud texture effect that you can see in some nebula pictures. It seems like a lot of ink here that I'm dropping down, and the room's starting to smell like alcohol, and I start realizing that I probably could have used rubbing alcohol, but I had the colorless blender refill readily available. The alcohol ink does make the paper buckle just a little bit, but I'm using a Bristol board here and it's thicker paper, so the alcohol ink does evaporate quickly and the paper stays flat. Right here I'm sketching out Minerva, a little outline of her, with a Prismacolor white coal erase pencil. It takes me a few tries here because I actually went into this without pulling a reference photo right away. I just thought, oh, I just want her to have her hip cocked to the side a little bit as she's walking away, and I can do that without a reference. I couldn't do it without a reference. I had to look up a pose. The reason why I'm using white is because, of course, it's dark. It's dark ink there, and I wanted to draw it out before I went in with my jelly roll. I'm using, oh man, I really needed more colorless blender there. I'm using a Sakura jelly roll pen there in white. My white ink pen of choice. I think I said in the previous video that it's not the best white. It's not super opaque. Sometimes when you lay it down it does pick up some of the color underneath sometimes, but this actually works really well with this technique, picking up some of the color underneath and having a not as white star, and then going over it with more ink creates depth in this drawing here. And the stars are very tiny, which is kind of cute, but you know, for me I think that it works really well with a tinier pen, and then I can just make the stars bigger by laying down more ink with this tiny jelly roll tip. Am I rambling? I'm rambling a little bit. So I'm pulling up the washi tape and I'm realizing, oh my gosh, it's bled. Of course it's going to bleed, and laying down droplets of ink here. And there's that clean edge on the bottom where I didn't lay down a bunch of ink. And that is how I make a nebula. I'm so sorry if this was such a ramble video. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel for more art videos, because they are coming. Let me know down in the comments below how Inktober is going for you, and whether or not you are going to give this technique a try. I do think it would work with regular rubbing alcohol, and you don't have to go out and buy a colorless blender refill. I hope that you are having a beautiful day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!